It was a freezing night in New York City. Late December. Snow falling quietly. The city lights were bright, but not every light meant hope. Jack Henry, 35 years old, a former Marine, now a wanted criminal, charged with armed robbery, illegal weapons possession, and fleeing from law enforcement. But Jack wasn't always like this. He was hiding in an abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city. Cold, silent, broken. Then, a sound. Woof! Jack turned instantly, raising his gun. From the shadows, a German shepherd stepped forward. Thin, hungry, shivering, but its eyes were fearless. Jack aimed, paused, then slowly lowered the gun. "Guess you're alone too, huh?" he whispered. The dog stepped closer. That night, Jack gave him a name. Rex. Days passed. They shared food, shared silence. Rex guarded the place. Jack survived. One night, sirens screamed through the cold air. Police. Too close. Jack panicked, searching for a way out. Suddenly, Rex barked loudly and ran in the opposite direction. Flashlights followed him. Jack escaped. That was the moment Jack realized. This wasn't just a dog. This was loyalty. One night, sitting beside a small fire, Jack spoke. "I didn't choose this life. Not really. I came back from war, and everything was gone. No job, no support, just bad choices after bad choices." Rex sat quietly beside him, listening. No judgment, no questions, just presence. A few days later, they were found. Leading the operation was Officer Daniel Ross, a seasoned canine unit officer. Beside him, his trained partner, Max. "He's in there," Daniel said calmly. The warehouse was surrounded. "Jack, drop your weapon and come out!" a voice echoed. Jack held his gun tightly. Fear, exhaustion, regret. Rex looked at him. Then, Max stepped forward. Rex moved in front, standing between Jack and the police dog. Two dogs, eye to eye. But no fight. Only understanding. Jack's hand slowly trembled. Then, he dropped the gun. "I'm done running," he said. Officers moved in. He was arrested. Rex ran to him. Jack fell to his knees, holding him tightly. "You saved me," he whispered, tears in his eyes. Months later, Jack was in prison, but he had changed, helping others, working, trying to rebuild what was left of himself. And Rex? Officer Daniel took him in. Now, Rex was training to become a canine officer. One day, Jack was brought out for a rehabilitation program. Standing across from him, a police dog in uniform. It was Rex. For a second, silence. Then Rex ran toward him, jumped on him, tail wagging wildly. Jack laughed, for the first time in a long time. Sometimes it's not a person who changes your life. Sometimes it's a dog. 6 months later. The winter had passed, but Jack Henry's life was still cold. Prison walls, steel doors, regret. Every day felt the same. Until one morning. "Henry, you've been selected." Jack looked up. "Selected for what?" "Rehabilitation program. Canine support unit." Jack froze. Canine? Dogs? One name hit his mind instantly. Rex. The training yard was quiet. Officers stood in a line, dogs beside them. Jack walked slowly, heart pounding. Then he saw him, stronger, healthier, wearing a canine vest. Rex! For a moment, neither moved. Then Rex's ears lifted. He recognized him. In seconds, Rex ran straight toward Jack, jumped on him, tail wagging like crazy. Jack dropped to his knees. "Hey, buddy," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I missed you." Even the officers went silent. Because moments like this, you don't interrupt.
Officer Daniel Ross stepped forward. "He's different because of you," Daniel said. Jack looked confused. "What do you mean?" Daniel nodded toward Rex. "He listens better, trusts deeper, connects faster. Not every dog makes it through training, but Rex did." Jack swallowed hard. "And you?" Daniel asked. "Are you ready to change too?"
The program wasn't easy. Jack had to work with other inmates, train, follow rules, earn trust. One mistake, and he was out. Some inmates laughed at him. "A criminal training dogs? That's a joke." But Jack stayed quiet, focused, because every time he looked at Rex, he remembered who he could become. One afternoon, things went wrong. A fight broke out between inmates. Chaos, shouting. Guards rushed in. One inmate grabbed a metal rod, running straight toward an officer. Everything happened fast. Too fast. Before anyone could react, Rex moved. Fast, precise, trained. He intercepted the attacker, knocking him down, saving the officer. Silence followed. Heavy breathing. Shock. Then applause. Jack stood there, frozen, watching Rex. That same dog who once saved him, now saving others. Tears filled his eyes. "That should have been me," he whispered. Daniel heard him. "No," he said firmly. "This is you. Your choices brought you here, but your next choices can take you somewhere better." Weeks later, Jack was called again. "This program, it's working," Daniel said. "You've earned something." Jack stayed silent. A chance. Reduced sentence, continued canine training, maybe even a job when you're out. Jack couldn't believe it. A job? Daniel smiled slightly. With dogs like Rex. Jack looked at Rex. Rex looked back. No words needed. "I won't waste this," Jack said. "For him and for me." Some people get a second chance, but not everyone is brave enough to take it. 1 year later, the gate slowly opened. That heavy iron door, the one that once defined his world, was finally unlocking. Jack Henry stood still, a small bag in his hand, a different look in his eyes. Not fear anymore. Hope. Sunlight hit his face. For the first time in a long time, he looked up at the sky. Took a deep breath. Is this what a new beginning feels like? He whispered.
A car was parked just beyond the gate. Inside, Officer Daniel Ross. He gave a small nod. "Ready?" he asked. Jack paused for a second, then nodded back. "Yeah, I think I am." Then, a sound. "Woof!" Jack froze, slowly turned around, and there he was. Rex. Stronger, sharper, wearing his full canine gear. A real police dog now. But those eyes? Still the same. Within seconds, Rex sprinted toward him, jumped on him, tail wagging like crazy. Jack laughed, holding him tight. "You never left me, did you?" he said, voice breaking. Daniel stepped closer. "I've got something for you," he said. Jack looked up. A job. Jack blinked. A job? Daniel nodded. Canine training assistant. You and Rex working together. Jack couldn't believe it. "Do you really think I can do this?" Daniel gave a slight smile. "You already are." A few months later, night operation. A suspect running through a dark alley. Fast, tense, dangerous. "Go!" Jack shouted. Rex took off instantly. Focused, precise. Within seconds, he caught the suspect. Officers rushed in. It was over. Jack stood there, breathing hard, but smiling. Because this time, he wasn't running. He was chasing. Later that night, Jack sat outside the station. Rex beside him. He gently placed a hand on Rex's head. "You didn't just save me," Jack said softly. "You gave me a life I didn't think I deserved." Rex stayed still, but his eyes said everything.